Welcome back, everyone. Now at 6, people around the world feeling the pain that Chrissy Teigen is going through right now. She and her husband, John Legend, suffering pregnancy loss this week. It's something many women go through and don't want to talk about. Western Mass News reporter Briseida Landaverde getting answers for those who help moms and dads cope about how to grieve.
October is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. Chrissy Teigen and John Legend opening up on social media this week about the loss of their unborn son.
The grief process for parents is an incredibly complicated process.
Carol McMurrick is the founder of Empty Arms Bereavement Support. They sit by the side of parents who have just suffered such a devastating loss.
Pregnancy loss is something that so changes your relationship with the world, with your social circle, and having others who understand what that experience is like is incredibly helpful for people as they rebuild themselves.
McMurrick tells Western Mass News parents go through a very deep grief and have holes to fill that they can only see.
So when a baby dies, a person is typically shocked in a biological way. They go into a period of shock where it's very difficult for them to process anything. Typically, we see that it takes people, I would say that a person often will look like they are doing better a couple of months after a loss. I don't usually see families reporting that they are starting to feel like they've settled into a new normal until at least 1 to 2 years after their baby dies. The other people in your life are not typically noticing that, wow, it must be really weird to just get in your car and go to work without buckling a baby in the backseat and taking them to daycare. They're just seeing you go to work.
McMurrick says the stigma around pregnancy loss is starting to change.
One of the things that's hardest in our culture is for people to be okay with something not being okay. So for people to just acknowledge that this is a really sad thing. I lost my first daughter at birth, and my favorite people to hang out with after she died were the first graders that I taught, because they would say things to me like, "It's really sad that your baby died, and you must really miss your baby." Those were the things that adults could not say to me. They would say, "Wow, I'm so glad to hear you went and got an ice cream cone. It seems like you're really doing better." And like, "Don't worry, you can have another baby." And they wanted me to move through this.
And if you know someone who is dealing with loss, McMurrick says it's best to say something.
The easiest thing to say is just, "I'm so sorry to hear about your baby," or "I'm so sorry that your baby died. I just can't imagine."
Empty Arms Bereavement has support groups for families across Western Mass who are dealing with loss. You can find a link to their website at westernmassnews.com. For Western Mass News, I'm Briseida Landaverde.